Welcome back to America Decides. Thanks for staying with us. The White House has confirmed reports the Department of Justice has fired more than 50 U.S. attorneys and deputy U.S. attorneys. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said today, the American people deserve a judicial branch full of honest arbiters of the law who want to protect democracy, not subvert it, end quote. Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen joins me now. What can you tell us about these firings, and under what evidence can the White House point to that any of those fired were subverting democracy?
Right. These firings mostly are line prosecutors. So they're people really who come in and do the day-to-day arguing. They don't get to choose their cases. They're not political appointees. And they're not part of this traditional turnover that you see between administrations. At the U.S. attorney level, that's a big thing, right, where you're getting appointed. And we've seen all across the administration so far, even so far as Alina Habba, a senior advisor to Donald Trump, being an interim U.S. attorney in New Jersey, right, where that's a political job that she got. These are people who do the day-to-day across administration work. There's an example out of a man out of Los Angeles who ran for Congress in New York as a Democrat and spoke out loudly against Donald Trump in 2020. He lost his primary to Mondaire Jones in that race, but he went back to his day-to-day job outside of that and was assigned to a task force going after securities fraud in California. He got according to news reports, got an email, and our CBS News colleagues confirmed that it was a short email from the White House, not the Department of Justice, not a senior U.S. attorney in Los Angeles or California. It was a direct political move to go after him, and I think the big thing that we have to remember here is the ecosystem that we live in. Conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer, about an hour before that, basically reshuffled some of his past comments about Donald Trump and the danger that he said at the time in his congressional race Donald Trump posed to America. About an hour later, he received that email from the White House. So I think it shows more than anything that these people who, yes, he did take an overtly political stance. So I think that's exactly what the Trump administration is trying to prove, that there are people in the DOJ who have this bias or role, but at the same time, it is someone who went back to their day-to-day job and was actively working on these cases.
And let's separate one from the other. So the political actions were taken in a race where he was an announced candidate and he lost the primary, then he went back to his other job. And within that other job, is there any evidence to suggest he did anything other than stay within the lines?
Not that we've seen so far, and not for any of these other people as well.
And also, just to understand and underscore for the audience's benefit, it is not typical for a White House to directly involve itself in personnel matters of this granularity in the Justice Department.
Rare, unprecedented. I mean, you pick the word. It's just not something that happens traditionally, specifically because these people, again, are before this administration, were the insulated class of these attorneys who, no matter what the case was, are doing the day-to-day arguing. And the 170 plus hearings that we are tracking here at CBS about the administration's actions, it's basically the same set of day-to-day prosecutors who are working on these cases because they haven't turned over with the new administration. They take the charge and directive that's given to them. Many, like we've seen on these military moves that the Trump administration has made too, right? You don't choose your assignment, you just do the work that is assigned to you the best you can.
And very quickly, Jake, we don't know for a fact that there's a cause and effect. Laura Loomer puts something on social media, an email gets sent, but it certainly looks aligned.
And certainly, and I think that, you and I have talked about this before, that there is this sense of loyalty that needs to be met. And by even breaking line and then returning to it with no evidence to prove that there was any past actions in his investigations or any of these other people that we've seen fired, there are consequences for that.
Yeah. Things can change. Jake Rosen, thank you very much. I appreciate it.